Hey, what's going on? Mike Locke here. Thanks so much for tuning into this video blog. In this video, I want to talk about the differences between web designer and UI UX designer and why this is important. For those of you who watched any of my previous videos, you know that my videos are tailored towards those who are up and coming, who are just now getting started in the web design field. So it's highly important to understand the differences between the two, and so that you can better leverage yourself and use the terminology of UI UX designer on your LinkedIn accounts, on your portfolios, on your resumes, etc., so that you can better position yourself to come up in searches and to land jobs, from startup and different tech companies, whether it's freelance work, contract work, or full-time work. Okay, so it's highly important to understand this. Now, the reason why this topic came to mind and why I wanted to discuss this is because if you're paying attention to what's going on in the U.S. right now, you know that in politics, you know that the presidential race is ramping up. There's a lot of talk right now about job creation. Obama's talking about job creation. Different politicians are talking about job creation because the national unemployment rate in the U.S. right now is pretty high, around 9 or 10%. I don't know the exact figure, but it's pretty high. So there's a lot of people that are out of work, a lot of people that are looking for jobs. There's not a lot of jobs to be found. But on the contrary, in the UI UX design world, from my experience, I get a lot of job offers week in, week out. And particularly on the West Coast, if you're talking about from Los Angeles all the way up to San Francisco, a lot of different tech companies. There's a lot of tech companies in this area, and in the tech world, a lot of startups, a lot of companies are always looking for UI UX designers. And most of the time, pretty much all the time, when I get a chance to talk to one of these recruiters or one of these folks who are shooting me the job offer or the potential job offer, I tell them, I'm working full time for Yahoo. I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing. Thanks, but I can't at the moment. They always ask me, where can I find different UI UX designers? Where do they hang out? Where can I find them? Can you pass this along, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a highly sought after. The UI UX design world is pretty high in demand, and right now there's just not a large number of people who are capable of doing UI UX design work. And those of you who are just now getting started in web design, good for you, because you're getting into an area that's hot right now, and that will be hot for years to come. So good for you. But understanding the differences between web designer and UI UX designer is highly important, so that you can better position yourself to land these jobs. Now, let's start off with web designer. Web designer is a term that pretty much everybody knows. The average person on the street knows what a web designer is, or they have some indication on what a web designer is, because everyone knows what a website is. When I talk to the average person in public, when I tell them I work for Yahoo, I just tell them I'm a web designer, because that's what they understand. They understand what that is, someone who works on websites. But in actuality, I'm a I'm a UX designer for Yahoo. And the average person on the street don't really know what a UI UX designer is. But in the tech world, that's pretty much the only terminology that's used. Okay, so web designer is pretty self-explanatory. It's someone who's capable of designing a website, someone who knows basic graphic design skills, can edit photos, can create buttons, links, do some HTML and CSS, and build a simple website. Okay, that's what a web designer does, and those are the basic skills. A UI UX designer, UI is the acronym for user interface, and UX is the acronym for user experience. So that's the terminology that's now being used. I don't know who came up with this. I just go with it, but UI UX designer is the terminology that's used for people who have more specific skills that can work around and that can build web applications. that can build different interactions and widgets within a web page. Okay, so an example is if you look at Facebook. Facebook is a huge web application, and and on Facebook they have different multiple interactions depending on what you click on and depending on what you're doing, whether you're uploading a photo or posting something on a wall or leaving a comment or clicking the like button. There's multiple interactions that goes on within a web application, and that's the skills of a UI UX designer, someone who understands different flows from page to page, from different interactions, build wireframes, can design web applications, icons, form design, and create a great experience within a web app, whether it's on the web or on a mobile device, etc. Okay, so that's where the UI UX designer is more tailored to. So when people are looking for UI UX designers, they're looking for people that's capable of designing around web applications or building web applications, designing web applications, that is. So that's the main difference. Now, to further explain this point, let's say I meet someone on the street and this guy just started a restaurant, and he says, "Hey Mike, I need a website for my new restaurant. Can you help me out?" Now that particular person needs a web designer. They just need someone to design them, a simple website, homepage, menu page, contact page, add some pretty pictures of food on there, and that's it. Now, let's say a few months down the road, that person comes back to me and says, "Hey Mike, thanks for the website. Now I want to allow customers the opportunity to actually make reservations on my website. And in addition to that, I want them to order food on my website and be able to pick it up at my restaurant." So now those particular features that person just explained to me involves different interactions on that website. And it might involve different widgets, someone filling out a form, someone hitting the submit button, this thing going to another page. In terms of ordering food, there should be a list of food items, pictures. Click on that, it blows up. There's a description of what they're ordering. They can order it, etc., etc. So those are different interactions. Now, when that person, if that person asks me for something like that, that person needs a UI UX designer or someone with those skills to be able to build and design around what those features and those interactions require. Okay, so that's a UI UX designer. So think of web designer as, if we were going to use a basketball analogy, web designer is the term basketball player. Okay, basketball player. And UI UX designer is the term point guard. Okay, you know what a point guard is actually a basketball player, but a point guard has more specific skills. Someone who can dribble, someone who can pass, someone who can shoot. Okay, and that's what a UI UX designer is, someone with more specific skills. A UI UX designer can be a web designer, but it has more specific skills that are built around designing web applications. Okay, so when you think about the tech world, a lot of startups, a lot of companies like Yahoo, Google, Amazon, eBay, Netflix, etc., 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 these companies don't need web designers because they have a website. They don't need someone to design their website. They need UI, UX designers, someone that's capable of designing different web applications and widgets within their website, okay, and creating great experiences around these within these web applications. So that's the main difference. So so keep that in mind. So basically, what you want to do is start to use these terminologies on your website, on your LinkedIn accounts, and definitely on your resume, so that when people are doing searches within the websites or within LinkedIn and stuff like that, you're coming up on these searches, and you're capable of knowing what's going on. Now, you're probably asking, okay, how do I become a good UI UX designer? Good question. What I think is the best way to become a UI UX designer is to focus on your web design skills. I think web design is the foundation to becoming a UI UX designer. So When you're perfecting your web design skills, building simple web pages, you're now focusing, or you're now learning proper spacing, proper interaction design, proper visual design, building icons and buttons and things like that. So that you're actually toning your skills to become a UI UX designer. Now, when you start to if you want to practice becoming a UI UX designer, you can start to look at different web applications on the internet, like Twitter, Facebook, Netflix, etc., and start to sort of design, look at the different interactions from page to page, and start to design and look at how things are laid out, and practice copying those particular sites and you know, forms and different web applications, just to kind of get an idea on what's involved in UI UX design. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about the differences there. Hopefully this helps you a little bit, and you can, if you haven't had a understanding, now you do, and you can sort of apply these to what you're doing today, so that you can better leverage yourself for to land freelance work or contract work or full-time work. All right, so I will have more videos. I know I've been busy the last few weeks. I've been posting regularly, so stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to have more videos that are focused around you know, tips and advice and stuff like that within the UI UX design world. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and catch me in the next videos. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.